know if anybody saw through in the other room our ladder of participation. And again, that's photographic. We've put photographs on at the different levels, what we're doing and how we're doing it, so that everybody can see that and understand it. People being in charge and people being in control, and that's what we're trying to do here.
The strategy for the workforce starts with going to your customers to ask what they want.
In residential care, the power is definitely with the workers, and people had a residential mindset, and workers looked after people.
So at the beginning, our workers took umbrage with us as a management because they thought it was us that was forcing these changes. Right, well, no, you're going to have to move, you're going to have to do something that you're not used to, you're going to have to work with people who maybe have behaviour that challenges them.
People that use the service involved in all these committees, and they're making decisions and sharing ideas.
Our committee to help the project to keep it running, keep it going, go and explain things about what we do and how we do it.
I spoke to a lot of colleges about what I do and that here, and then I wanted students to come and work with us to see how it would do.
If everybody's not bought in, then you'll find you'll be sixes and sevens with each other.
Are you ever in that position where you're thinking, actually, what you want and what I think as a professional, in inverted commas, what you need are two different things, and how do you deal with that?
They can think about it in terms of it's something that we're doing to help us. That's very often how we would approach it.
Kind of issued guidance recently just about that, what you were talking about there, about not putting workers' kind of thoughts and outcomes onto people.
We listen to our community. We have complaints meeting, we're continuously listening, and it's important that agencies listen.
The policing principles talks about prevention, it talks about harm reduction, it talks about safety and well-being, and you said earlier about convincing others in the organisation that this is the right thing to do. So that's the job that I've got, some of my colleagues here, because there is a certain amount of derision when we talk about the assets-based approach, and that's perfectly understandable. John and Julie, the North West Youth Project is quite phenomenal. They've produced a service all of their own by commissioning more appropriate services that were more appropriate for their community.
And you have to ignore the negative, come in with positive, and let it come.
That you're changing the way the services are being delivered in your area.
Because they're actually starting to see our successes. We have, I mean, there's so many different individual stories that we have.
When do public services then step up and start financing these fantastic community assets?
One of the big issues we've had is the decision-making skills that are just eroded, and we've not been helping them.
It's important to emphasise how challenging this really is on a practical basis.
Just accept that this is going to be a whirlwind journey, and but it's a good journey as well.
One of the things that struck me about both this morning and this afternoon is that what's been really important and significant to people is the meaningfulness of the connections and relationships that people have, and how, you know, people came into jobs to do that, but the job stopped them doing it, and the bureaucracy and the process stopped them doing it, and actually reclaiming that and regaining that has actually made your work life much more meaningful and your social life much more meaningful. And I suppose it's how we do that and how we encourage that to happen on a wider basis for everybody that's important.
Professional, you know, baggage, if you like, and meet people face to face and actually interact with us people, you know, that actually kind of creates a different kind of atmosphere.
And that's the bit.